cut copper, baby. Oh yeah. Holy cow. Another awesome, fully intact Conestoga Bell. Look at that. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, it's not a coin! And so this is going to be the obverse, and it's another Drake bust. It's an 1865. The date's clearly readable right there above my phone. Look at that. Great seal button. And it's deep, so maybe it's not crushed. It's not crushed. Holy crap. Well, here I am in my first find. This is an 1812 house. It's been very slow. A lot of modern trash and a ton of iron in the yard. I think it's been detected before. Otherwise, I'd find some better targets. And maybe, you know, maybe there's a lot of fill brought in. I'm kind of in the backyard now. And I'm not going to show you the whole house, but it's down through there. Beautiful home. Has a long history in this town. And it's on a kind of a country side road, so I thought this place had some promise to it. Finally got a good target here that's not trash, and let me show you this. I'll take these all day long, and maybe there's a pattern in it. See right there? That, my friends, is a big old flat dandy button with the shank intact, and there may even be a little gilt on back there. So I will take that any day. I'll do some, usually take some Brillo to that, and then see if there's got some pattern on it. So I'll show you a close-up shot if there's something good lurking under the muck there. All right, good find. Let's see if we can dig out a few more things among the trash here. On to the next. Well, here's a really nice find, folks. Take a look at this. Mixed in with all this iron, I got about a 50 signal. Just enough repeatable to dig it. And how about that for an intact tomback button? That's really nice. It doesn't have a design on it. It's got a little wear. But I don't know. It was only about 4 or 5 inches deep, embedded in all this iron at this place. Late 1700s all day. Very nice tomback. I'll take that all day long. The finds are kind of few and far between here, and this is the place where I dug that militia plate a little while back. So I'm going to just poke around here. I've dug some horse tack and a buckle. I didn't show you those because they're not too exciting. But I thought this was a very nice find, especially since it's complete. So let's keep poking around here. It's kind of hot out here. Going to be 85 degrees today, so I don't know how long I'll last. On to the next. Well, here's another interesting find, folks. Let me just pan down right here. Screaming signal, but kind of squelchy. I thought it might be a piece of a can. And it's not surprising that it kind of rang up like that. See that back right there? Then I flip it over and it's got a glass top. You know what this is? This is a bridle rosette. And it's probably from the early 20th century. Probably not 1800s when they started making these glass rosettes. I can't tell what's inside of there. Some sort of old picture of something that's long faded away. It has some gold gilt on the inside, but as you can see, it's got a glass top with like a brass bottom, and then you can see the 2 attachments that would have gone on the back that would have attached it to the side of the bridle of the horse. Again, you can find these brass ones with the glass tops. They're made even up to today, but this is a very old site. But there was a schoolhouse here till about the turn of the century, so I'm going to think this is very early 20th century, maybe up to about 1920, but I'm going to guess somewhere around 1900 to 1920. But that's a cool find. I don't think I'm going to be able to see exactly what was ever inside there. Usually it's a picture or a flower or something like that, but that's long faded away. And it was down there, I don't know, 4 or 6 inches. Screaming signal. I had to dig it. Even though I thought it was going to be junk. But that's a cool old find. I'll polish that up and at least keep that for the relic collection. All right, see if we can find a few more things. On to the next. Well, I'm out here and got my first permission of the day. I'm still awaiting another permission from an adjacent property. Number of old cellar holes back here. This one dates all the way into the 1870s. But was here in 1850s, so there's definitely could be some older stuff, and it's back in the middle of nowhere, folks. There is an old ATV trail that runs nearby. I got one good signal that I had to dig, but it was under a giant root, and I'm going to leave that one for later. But about 3 minutes later, I got another screaming 75. Look at that right there, folks. Only been here 5 minutes, and I got myself a big old dandy button. That's a signal people should not have missed. That was not that deep. I don't know, look at that. 3 or 4 inches. I may even have something on it. We'll have to do a little Brillo on that, but it's got the full shank and everything else. Let's see if we can find some other stuff here, guys. I'm going to hang around here for a while. The one thing I would say is the farmer told me that there are cows in this field and there's an angry bull. And so be very careful. If you see him coming near, since he doesn't know you, you may want to get out of here. So the barbed wire fence separating me from the road is only about maybe 15 yards behind me. So I'm going to keep my eyes out. If I see cows coming, I'm going to get out of there because I don't want to be stampeded. On to the next. Here we are at our next find, folks. This was a tiny target. It took me a minute to find it. Wanted to film this for you guys. Pretty shallow here, right between all the cow poops. Early cross-strap buckle there with the shank broken, or the little tongue broken off. When you see those where it's one piece and the side goes across the buckle like that and is attached and it's not a two-piece buckle like that, those are really old. That's like 1800. So I'll take that any day. There's got to be some old neat stuff out here, some more buttons or a crotal bell or an old coin or something. I've dug a pewter spoon and another flat button that I didn't get on tape, but I just want to show you a few different things I'm finding. So let's keep poking around here. I'll keep my eyes out for the cows. I haven't seen them yet. I'm pretty far back in the fields here in the woods. So on to the next. Well, the cellar hole's right behind me. Got a screaming 86 signal. I've dug quite a bit of iron here. No more buttons after those two flat buttons and that pewter spoon and that little buckle. Been quiet for about 20 minutes other than some trash. But I got a killer 86 signal. I thought it was going to be a large center of silver. But look at this, folks. This is pretty cool. Conestoga, baby. Look at that. Beautiful, complete brass bell. Just without the clacker. But you know what? Those always those are made of iron and they rusted off. So what a killer find. I think that's my third or fourth Conestoga. And to get a complete one like this, that's only down, I don't know, it's not too deep. It was under this rock right here that I had to flip up. But I don't know. Uncommon to find them complete like that, but I'll take it every day. What a great find. Conestoga Bell from the probably mid to late 1800s. On to the next. Well, I've moved on along from the cellar hole, and I came across another cellar hole in the woods here that's actually not on a map. I dug a copper plate. I don't think there's anything on it there. You can see that right there. That was a screamer right on the bank there. The cellar hole's just right up in the woods over there. But I came out here and walking down the road here just a little bit away from the cellar hole first because it's very trashy. And I just got another killer find, folks. This is the first for me. You remember I dug that Conestoga Bell a little while ago by that first cellar hole. Right in the road, folks. Screaming 81 signal. It was just too tight to think it was anything else, and I'm in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it could be a can, but it ain't. Look at this. Conestoga number 2. And she is a beaut. Look at that. Maybe I've nicked it right there just a little bit. See if I can... Probably not going to have the clanker in it, if you can see that. Those usually, like I said, rust out. But man, 2 Conestoga bells. Yeah, look at that. I dinged it right there. I'll buff that out with some Brillo and you won't even notice. What a great find. 2 for the day. I'll take those every day over a large cent, especially if they're intact like this. All right, let's see if we can find a few more things. I got about an hour left and then I'm out of here. On to the next. Well, it took about all day, folks, but I finally got one. Got a screaming 89. Not too deep. I don't know, 4 inches. Bingo, baby. Largy. And looks pretty thick. Maybe a braided hair. You know, trying to ID these guys in the field for you may be tough. I think I see stars, though, right there. Yeah, look, it's going to be a matron. See that? Or not a matron, a braided hair. Thicker, so probably 1840s. This house was on the 1857 map, so it'll have 1 cent on the back there. I'll get you a cleaned up shot and see if I can get a date. The fact that I can, oops, these coins always want to jump back in the hole. The fact that I can see her head in the stars now probably gives me hope that I can get a date out of there. I'm going to guess 1846 to 1849, just as a a first guess because those are very common dates. But let's see what else we can find. Only about 20 minutes left here and I'm done. Great find to cap off the end of the day with those 2 Conestogas, a large cent, and a nice big dandy and some other doodads. On to the next. If I don't find anything else, we'll see you in the Green Velvet wrap-up. Well, here I am, folks, about a week later. I hiked my butt off to this cellar hole. I mean, it is in the middle of nowhere. I had to GPS it. Kudos to anybody that's metal detected this place. You never know. I mean, these are wilderness spots, and these people didn't have a ton of money, so there's probably not a ton of stuff here, but, you know, you can kind of tease out the iron. I got a fork earlier, silver-plated fork, and then I got a nice little, let me show you right here, nice little, like, 50 signal. Check that out. It's a little iron back button. Now, this house was here in the 1850s, but on the 1875 map, it was gone. So it looks like a little button with a flower pattern on it there. I don't think I see an eagle. I think that's just a flower on top. But hey, that's a nice little find. I've been here about 5 minutes. A lot of iron here, so you're going to have to poke through there and just kind of tease out the good signals that are in there. Hopefully you can find a few more goodies. On to the next. Well, I got a scratchy, fairly high but repeatable tone mixed with iron right by this old stump here. It wasn't that deep. I just kind of messed around with my pinpointer in here. I don't know. What do you think? Indian head? Looks like a coin to me, folks. Let's see what we got here. Higher than a button. Pretty shallow, so I'm worried that it's just going to be a toast. No, actually it's a button. Look at that. So there's the front, and then there's the back, and then that's where the shank would have attached. It's an old flat button from way back. I may get a maker's mark out of that. I'll take some Brillo to it. These thicker ones like this tend to ring up higher, so you know you can mistake them for a coin. And geez, that looks like about the size of a penny to me, doesn't it? Unless you saw that little back mark right there. All right, another flat button for the collection. On to the next. Well, take a look at this interesting item, folks. I found one similar earlier this year. I think this is a Rains guide, but look how decorative that thing is. At first I thought that was going to be a shoe buckle. It rang up really high, like an 80 or 90. It's made out of brass. Black flies are really bad. But see this, how it's threaded? Right here. Oops, these black flies are just crazy biting me. Let me find where I got it. Right here. See how it's threaded right there? Very interesting. So I guess this would have been in the side of the buggy like that, and then that could have just, you know, flopped around like that with the rains going through that. But that's a cool find. Decorative, like a rope-like pattern. I'll take that for sure. On to the next. Well, I always seem to find one of these, folks. Found 2 clad memorial pennies right on the side of the old road down there. Screaming signals. I thought they were going to be good. 82 signals. Oh well, you know, you got to deal with it. You know, land has been traipsed by man for forever, and there's probably people back here hunting or something. Got another screaming 80 signal. Thought it was going to be another penny, but no. Look at this. Nice big 69 caliber musket ball with green patina on it. How about that, folks? That's really sick. It's even got a little pinfire or something like that in the back there, but it never hit anything. Look at that. That's nice. That's made out of brass, though. I don't know. Now that I'm looking at this, is that really a musket ball or just a ball bearing? See that little thing on the back? I don't know. It's old, I think. We'll take it. It's not, I don't think it's made out of lead. I think it's made out of something else, but I think it's old ammo. On to the next. Okay, we're inside for the wrap up here. I'll be kind of quick here on what I found. I'll go from the mundane to the better finds, and I didn't get all of this on tape. I got some old spoons, one of which is fragments, one of which is pewter here, spoon handle. This is a lead weight of some sort. I found that interesting. I got a part of a barrel tap key, some clad, unfortunately. Find that stuff everywhere, folks. Deep in the woods and in the yard next door. Silver plated spoon. Got several buttons here. This is the one I showed you, a couple of these in the field. Nice flower pattern on that one. Here's the other one I got on tape, plain Jane. Didn't get these on tape. President and heavy-duty suspender clips. Very nice, and they actually still work. I only have one hand, so I can't show you, but this actually opens and clips and everything. Found those in northeastern Vermont on a woods hunt a while back. Parasol slide from an old umbrella. Musket ball. Showed you that on tape. Here's a button I didn't get on tape, and I mentioned in the field the back crumbled away, but I think I'm going to keep it just because it has this nice little pine tree or fir tree imprinted on the front of that guy. This I wasn't sure what I had. It's made out of maybe silver plate or something. Looks like the top of a lipstick case. You guys give me your guess on that. Here's a lid to something. I don't know if I'll keep all this stuff. You know, it rings up high. It's not iron. Got some sort of little pin here, silver plated, kind of crumbly. Not sure if I'll keep it. Cross strap buckle. And then on to a few more things that are a little more interesting for you. Here's my reins guide. Nice rope pattern. It's even got a little leaf pattern there on the attachment. And again, this is my best guess. This is kind of an ornate one, but I think this just screwed into the wood on the buggy, and then the reins would have gone through there. But I'll take that every day. Here's my bridle rosette. It's a script letter inside, and I think it's a script A, but I'm not sure. Some of these fancy letters, can't be sure. Late 1800s, early 1900s. That's why in the field I guess 1900 on that. There's your attachment pieces on that. Let's pan back down here. Here's my one large cent. Go over in the light here a little bit easier. She's kind of in rough shape. She was next to some iron, and you know, you hit or miss with these old coins. Sometimes they got a lot of nice patina on it, and sometimes they just don't hold up that well. It's an 1850 braided hair, and then if you flip it over, the reverse die state is rotated a little bit. See that? Some of these large cents, they didn't print them exactly right, so you flip straight over, and it's a little off center. But the back held up a little bit more. So I'll take that. That's a late date matron head. And then two Conestoga bells. These are some of the better finds. This is the first one I found, later date, probably mid to late 1800s. Very nice. And then the really old one. This is Tomback, folks. Found in the road. This is probably about 1800. Clacker's gone, of course, made out of iron. Isn't that cool? Look at the hole. It's a little off center. It's almost like it's handmade, which probably is back that far away, long away. A lot of that stuff was, you know, just getting into the machining era. Some Bit Boss horse tack stuff, copper plate. And then I'll leave you with a non-metal detecting find. And I didn't want to show you this because I didn't get it on tape. I was kayaking with my son in a local river up here a few weeks ago, and we were behind an old home site, and I saw this sticking out of the mud. And I paddled over, and I pulled it out, and I couldn't believe it. And it's basically a completely intact, giant Conestoga Bell. Jeez, unbelievable. There was a rock wedged in right there at the top that kind of dented it, but that's like 6-7 inches in diameter. This couldn't have been on any kind of team of horses. At least I can't imagine. I think this was actually on a wagon. I mean, it weighs 2 pounds. So, folks, there's relics out there waiting for you to find, even if they're not even under the ground for a metal detector. I was very lucky to have eyeballed that, and can't believe I'll probably never find another one big like that. I don't even know if I'd ever dig a target that loud. That would just be screaming. All right, well, that's about it for this time. I appreciate you joining me in this latest series of hunts, and please be sure to come back and join the channel in the coming weeks. I find a ton more large scents. I've found like 25 large scents already this year, and I've been very lucky to hit some great fields, either individually or with some friends of mine. So thanks for joining me once again, and remember to get out there and dig it all. It's waiting in the ground for you to find. This is BTV Digger.